It's my birthday today, and I'm celebrating 3 years playing PRS guitars. Yep, cue the music. My love affair with these guitars started when I turned 50 3 years ago, and man, what a 3 years it's been. Howdy everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, then I love these guitars. Yes. This is my 2003 PRS Custom 24 10 top. Yep, you know that because there's a 10 on the back of the headstock. Anyways, you know, when I was turning 50, I wanted to do something really special. So I kind of scratched my head, thought about buying an amp, which I'm still thinking about. Just haven't found the amp yet. Yeah, if I ever get it, there will be a video on it. But anyways, after some head scratching, I decided, you know what? I should get myself a really beautiful guitar. And this one came up. Yep. 15 minutes away from where I live as well. It was kind of like fated. Honestly, it was the correct time. I saw the guitar, it was the perfect color, the perfect spec, perfect price as well. And so I headed down to Musical Money, which is run by somebody I know, a guy called Jeff. He's a really cool guy. I've known Jeff for years. And I checked out the guitar. As soon as I picked it up, it was like, man, this is something really special. And honestly, that's where the whole love affair started. I can't believe it's been 3 years since I've been playing these. And today what I thought I would do is tell you about the good, the bad and the ugly. Because why not, right? You guys want to know what the experience of owning and playing a PRS is like, right? Over a long-term period of time. This is the perfect video to do that. So I want to share my thoughts with you. So let's jump into what I really love about these guitars. You know, the first time I started playing PRS, they completely rewired my brain. Now, this is something that you guys should think about when you pick up a Custom 24, the full-blooded USA version. I'm not talking the SE version, we will talk about that later. But honestly, the top shelf stuff, when you pick it up, it rewires your brain because your brain is saying, no, how can this guitar be this good? Honestly, it was a moment like that where it was like, I get it now. I get why people pay so much money for these guitars. This is amazing. The experience of actually just playing this and the sound coming out of it, the way the neck feels, the roll on the edge of the fretboard, the fretwork itself. When you look at it, it's just exquisite. It's an experience, man. Totally incredible experience. That's what happened. I thought I knew good guitars and great guitars before I owned this guitar. Then this turned up and it completely spoiled the party. It kind of became my go-to guitar for a while, and you know, I still love playing it, but because these are quite pricey guitars and precious guitars, they do live in their cases, which used to be kind of okay because they used to live in my living room, which is just over there. But then one day my wife said, these ain't staying here. So I had to store them somewhere else, which is just upstairs, and you know, it's a little bit further away. But they get pulled out when I really want to play one of my PRS guitars. But I do keep them in the case because, look, they are expensive guitars. But that's part of the fun of actually owning these guitars. They are an experience. Every time I pull one of these out of the case, it's an event. It feels really special. Everything about it, the way the body curves, the way the pickups sound. On this one, this is a 2003 model, and we've got the HFS and the Super Bass. These pickups are insanely good. Remember that first strum, you know, through an amp, It was just like, wow, God, how do these pickups have so much punch and vibrance, but also just the note definition and everything? Then you kind of start looking around and you see the abalone inlay on the fretboard, which is just exquisite. And, you know, just everything. The neck joint, everything accessible. The tuners, they're beautiful to use. Top locking makes so much sense. The bridge, which, you know, if you didn't look down and you used it, you'd easily think it was like a Floyd or something like that. The travel is the same, it stays in tune. Do you kind of get the impression that I like these guitars? Well, I do. And like I mentioned, the fretwork, it's just exquisite. Playing on these is just such a dream. And I remember something that my very, very good friend Dan had said to me some years ago about PRS guitars. He said, they make you play more precisely. And I had this conversation with somebody else recently as well. It was John Simmons over at Sonic Drive Studio, and we were just talking guitars and stuff. And he said, I just watched your video about the Custom 24s, and I totally agree with you. They do make you play more precisely. There's just something about them which just demands it. It's the way the sound just comes out of the guitars. So this was the start of my journey, but it didn't end there. Because 6 months later, this happened. Yep, this is my 2020 Custom 24. This is another USA model, and it's completely and utterly exquisite. Look, a few months after getting the first one, I started looking for a second one. I'm a bit of a creature of habit, and I like to have multiples of guitars that I like. Because I fell so hard for the Custom 24 that I bought, the 2003, you know, it was on my radar, and I started looking for another one. And I remember the weekend when I got this. On the Friday, I had missed out on one on eBay. And I was kind of like, damn it, I should have got it. But anyways, I didn't get that one. But this one turned up, and it looked really good. And it was in mint condition. And I messaged the guy and arranged to go and see it, because I wanted to see it beforehand, because it actually had a patent standard neck, whereas the other one has a patent thin neck. I was kind of like a bit concerned that this would be a little bit thicker and my hand wouldn't suit it. As it turns out, a patent standard neck is only 1/16 of an inch thicker than a patent thin. Yep, it's a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. So when I played this one, everything was zen. This was in mint condition, and like the first one, as soon as I played this, I just fell for it. Everything about it just felt right. The weight of it, the way the neck feels. Yes, it's a patent standard, but that didn't bother my hands one bit. It feels just as nice as the other one. Everything else about it was absolutely phenomenal. This top is gorgeous. This isn't a 10 top. The reason it's not a 10 top is because the grain just goes a little bit here. But because of PRS's exacting standards, this couldn't be a 10 top. But that's totally okay, because, I mean, look at it. It is just stunning. This figured top is just gorgeous. I always love looking at it. You know, it probably just comes across as kind of like a grayish color, but there are flecks of like gold and blue, and it's just so exquisite to look at. I'll try and give you some B-roll so that you can see exactly how nice this is. It is just an event looking at this. The weight of this guitar is just so, so nice. In fact, I play this one more than the other one. Yep, don't tell the other one though. You might get jealous. This has different pickups on it. These are the 8515 pickups. Also, because this is a later model, the tuners are different. These are the Phase 3 tuners, which are open back, which I completely and utterly adore. Yep, and it has the veneer on the headstock as well. So, 2 guitars. That's enough, right? No. You'd think, right? But no, no, this is me we're talking about. If you're enjoying this one, do me a huge favor, click the subscribe button and hit the bell notification as well so you know when new videos featuring this guitar come up. Thanks so much. All right, let's get back to it. And so comes into my life number 3. This is my CE24. This is a USA model as well. Semi-hollow, yeah, just at the top here. Again, exquisite top. And I love this burst finish. This is a slightly different animal from the other guitars because it's a CE, which means it is a bolt-on, but it is made to the same exacting standards as my custom 24s. I bought this because, frankly, I got it at an absolute bargain price. Yep, $1,000. I kid you not. That was a deal which I could not pass up on. Again, you know, I'm looking at Evil Bay and this comes up and I'm thinking, shall I, shan't I? I shouldn't really because I've got the other two, but why not? It looked great on videos. And so I went for it. So glad that I did. This is the one that actually lives in my living room all the time. I leave it there so that I can pick it up and I can play it. Because it's semi-hollow as well, it's got some acoustic resonance to it. So often I actually write music on this when I'm not in the studio. Wonderful instrument. The neck is a pattern thin, which is gorgeous. Love it, absolutely love it. Pickups are the 8515s. The tuners on this one are the Phase 2 tuners, which is like on my first one, my 2003. And the inlays are a little bit simpler. They're not abalone or mother of pearl. They're just plastic, but they look great. And then the control layout is a tiny bit different on this because we've got the 3-way toggle switch and then I've got a push-pull on the tone pot to split the pickups. On the 2003, there's a rotary knob, which is the original PRS thing. And on the 2020, we've got the 5-way switch. The 5-way switch is by far my favorite because it is just simplicity. It has the split coils in positions 2 and 4, which are exquisite to use for clean sounds. So the family had grown by this stage, and when I was doing videos, I had 3 different PRSs which I could use, and I did. I've done so many videos with all 3 guitars, but it didn't stop there. Nope. How do you like them apples? Yeah, this is a beautiful guitar. Now, this is actually an SE, but I've done plenty of work to this to make it feel like my USA version guitars. I have always been fascinated by the SE guitar line because they're so affordable and they're fantastic for the price. But once you've played a USA version, the experience is very different when you go to the SE. I know people will tell you, yeah, it's like 95% there. For me personally, it's not. It's a very, very different experience. It's still an amazing experience, but there are things that you notice on the guitar which are different, like the roll on the edge of the fretboard. That's the big one for me because when you don't have such a great roll on the edge of the fretboard actually feels wider because your hands are actually feeling the sharpness on the top and the bottom. So it ends up feeling slightly wider than if the edges are rolled and your hand is actually just curving right round the neck. It's a subtle difference, but you do feel it. I feel it for sure. Now I bought this for 2 reasons. It's purple and it has a maple fretboard. I love maple fretboards, absolutely adore them. And purple, yeah, it's a thing for me. I adore the color purple on my guitars. I have several in the studio. So this was gonna happen, and again, this was inexpensive, so I decided to do it as a bit of a project, and I have a whole video about how I turned this into a guitar which feels much more like my USA models than it did when it arrived. But what a great guitar. It looks great, it sounds amazing, it plays amazingly well as well. I'm so glad I got it, and I'm so glad I did the work to it. I did do a couple more modifications to it to get it to that USA spec, like the 5-way switch, and I wired it in the PRS way so that in positions 2 and 4 I've got those split coils, which I adore. The pickups had already been upgraded to Seymour Duncans. I've put something else in the bridge, can't remember what now, but it sounds amazing anyways. Changed the tuners for locking tuners as well. So this kind of rounded out my lineup of PRS guitars for now. Yes, I'll put that caveat on there because who knows what's going to happen in the future, right? All right, these have been amazing to own, but have there been any downsides? Well, yes, there have. Remember earlier I said these kind of rewire brain? But what happens after that is every time you pick up another guitar, your brain is secretly comparing it to the PRS Custom 24. Yep. And that is a high bar to reach, honestly. I remember playing guitars after that and it was like, meh, they're okay. And they were guitars which I would have happily have like just bought on the spot. After that, it was like, you know what, this doesn't feel as good. It doesn't feel as premium and it doesn't look as premium. And these things started to enter my life of guitar buying. Yep. So whenever I look at a guitar now, my brain is basically comparing it to how these feel, how these sound, how they look. You know, everything from like the inlays. These inlays are just gorgeous. The birds, the abalone, the way they have that white border around them. The fretwork is immaculate. It's absolutely amazing. The way they play, the way they sound. The pickups, they sound so amazing. The way the bridge actually feels to play. All these things became my measuring point, which meant I couldn't just buy any old guitar. Whereas in the past I would have been happy with something and I would have been like, this is amazing. After the PRS experience, it did change. The other thing that you experience is the PRS tax. What do I mean by that? Well, if you want to replace anything on the guitar, it costs a lot more. This is like a supercar of guitars. So when you go and buy a pot, it's not just 10 bucks, it's like 30. Yeah, if you want the PRS taper, the official pot, then yeah, they cost a lot of money. Even the tip on this, I can't remember how much this was, but this was expensive. Yeah, just this little tip on the end. I bought one for my SE because I thought, you know what, I want it to have the look as well. Well, it cost me. You know, a set of tuners is quite expensive as well. I think they're a couple $100 just for these tuners. The ones I put on the SE were only about £100 for the set. But again, you know, for £100 you can probably get a set of Gotos or something like that. These are amazing tuners and those ones are as well, so I have no problem paying these prices. And I absolutely love that they're top locking as well rather than back locking. This makes so much sense in terms of restringing and things like that. The other thing is, because these are expensive guitars, they do live in the cases. Everything else lives out here in the studio or on a stand. But because I don't want to ding these or scratch these and I'm a little bit precious about them, this one and the other Custom 24, they're the only two which live in cases in my house. Everything else is out so that I can pick it up and play it whenever I want. But over time, inevitably, I have dinged both of them just a tiny bit. Honestly, the first time I dinged this one, I was like, no! Oh my goodness! Now I'm not so precious about it because I've owned them for a few years, but I still would want to keep them in really, really good condition. And the last thing you notice about them, because these play so well, when you go and play other guitars, you want them to play just as well, because these feel really easy to play. When I'm on these guitars, it's just like my fingers are flying around all over really easily. Everything gets done so quickly. So when I pick up a guitar which doesn't feel as well sorted, does my playing suffer? Not really, but it's a little bit more of a challenge. And when I'm on these, it's bliss. It's absolute bliss. So just a couple of things in the ownership and playing experience of these guitars. But you know what? Even through all of that, I love having these. Can't believe I'm celebrating 3 years with them, and I'm so glad I took that step and I bought one, and then I bought the second, and I bought the third, and I bought the fourth. I'm sure there'll be a fifth, sixth, seventh, and an eighth. I don't know when, but I'm sure it'll happen at some point, because honestly, I adore playing these guitars. I hope you enjoyed that, and this was a cool way to celebrate my birthday, hanging out with you guys and telling you about my love affair with PRS guitars. That's the reason. That's the reason you see them on my channel. It's the reason that I've done so many videos with these guitars, because it's like celebrating every single time I pull these out of the case and I start playing them and I start recording with them. I adore them. I really do. I'd love to know if you have played a PRS guitar, or if you have a PRS guitar, and what you think about them. So leave a comment and let's get a conversation going. All right, guys and girls, I think it's time for some music, and it's time for me to go and have a couple of drinks and celebrate, right? I wish you all could join me. How cool would that be? Anyways, if you enjoyed this one, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification as well, so you know when new videos are going to be coming out. And also please do give it a like and a hype, and I would love to hear from you about your PRS guitar experience, or any other guitar that has absolutely just knocked you out of your chair. Yeah, let's talk about it. All right, guys and girls, here's the track. I'm gonna call this one Happy Birthday Again. Why not? It's my birthday today. I've had these for 3 years. Yeah, time for celebration, right? Enjoy the track. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for hanging with me, and I'll see you soon with another one. Bye for now.